Welcome back to another episode recapping The Single Life. Now, as you can see, my panda looks a little different. I made some adjustments to the proportions and added a couple of new things. For example, my freaking ears wiggle now. I'm such a cutie patootie. Yeah. It's such a minor change, but it brings me so much joy. Anyway, we are on season 4, episode 3, and let's just get right into it, y'all. You know what that means. Sit down, buckle up, and let's go for a ride. Let's start off with our leading lady, Natalie. Recap, please. So last episode, Natalie and Josh went out to look for apartments which were astronomically priced. She asks her boyfriend, you know, the one that could not be bothered to pick her up at the airport, if he would be willing to be the guarantor on her apartment application because she ain't got no money, she ain't got no job, and she ain't got no credit. And then she gets mad at him when he says that he has to think about it. Luckily, Josh was able to talk to the landlord and explain Natalie's financial situation, and they waived her need for a guarantor by having them put down a lump sum. Now, if I were the landlord, I would need like 6 months rent put down. I mean, here's a girl who has no history of credit. She does not have a job. She cannot get someone to be her guarantor or vouch for her in any meaningful way to me. I'm definitely gonna need a lot of money down. Josh is happy she's not homeless. He's happy that the home is in a safe neighborhood and that it already came fully furnished. Natalie wishes that it was a 2-bedroom.
We'll work up to 2 rooms.
Yeah, would be great.
Natalie and Mom are now soaking in the new home vibes, and Natalie's going on and on about, oh, this house is so great. Oh my gosh, isn't Josh so amazing for helping us get this house? And her mom's like, oh yeah, I'm so glad. He even got us these beautiful wind chimes. What do you say we have Michael over? Natalie is obviously nervous because her mother has a clear bias, and it is Michael. And with Josh back in town, they are all planning on getting dinner together, and Josh will be able to meet Natalie's mom for the first time. Natalie says she really needs Josh to shine because her mother is still upset about how he did not pick them up at the airport. So yes, I do think it's super crappy that Josh did not pick them up at the airport and also told them that very last minute, but I feel like the work he did in helping Natalie secure the apartment kind of made up for that.
It's dinner time!
Josh meets the 2 ladies and dinner starts off pretty amicably.
Well, tell her that I'm the luckiest guy tonight because I have the 2 most beautiful women in here.
Ой, благодарю. Thank you very much.
When Josh asks if Natalie got into trouble as a child, her mother answers the question and then gives him an answer to a question that he did not ask, but she wants to answer. She says no, Natalie was the perfect golden child, but she started to complain when she got older. And speaking about getting older, you know, my daughter needs to be with a reliable man. Josh says that he is trying his best, and then her mother just says, you didn't pick us up at the airport? And Josh is like, yeah, I did not. I'm really sorry. I wish I could have been there. And I'm over here just begging him to give me the reason. I'm so curious what could have possibly come up that made him last minute cancel his pickup. I am dying to know. Now let's head on over to meet Miss Debbie. Roll the recap. Last episode, Miss Debbie went out for a night on the town with her friends. She dances with a hot Latin lover who decides to finish their dance off by completely ignoring her and high-fiving some other random woman. Miss Debbie leaves his ass on the dance floor because she will not be dealing with any more wandering eyes. It's a new day in Georgia, and Debbie and her son Julian are going grocery shopping in his cruiser, sprayed with the fresh scent of eau de urine.
There's a funky odor coming from the back.
Someone did go to the bathroom on themselves back there.
Julian asks if she's heard anything from Morocco, and Debbie says, you kids need to stop nagging me. Yes, Osama has been incessantly trying to reach me.
There's a special feature that's called block.
He then asks her what's new, and Debbie admits that she's been on a couple of dating sites and has met a nice local man named Russ. This triggers Julian to enter his super overprotective son mode.
What's his full name, date of birth, and social security number?
Oh, hell no.
Debbie tells us that she is looking for a man, not a boy, and that is a good rule, Debbie. We should stick to that rule. Why don't we try to keep it within like a 3-decade time span, okay? Anyway, she apparently tells Russ, who is 60, that she is 57 and not 67. Justin asks her where they're going on their date, and she just says no.
And I'm sure not telling you, you'll have a damn SWAT team waiting over there.
Justin confides in us that he thinks online dating is a bad idea for his mom because she is a little gullible and will believe anything, and he really doesn't want her to be taken advantage of again. Miss Debbie is getting ready for her hot date with her halfway decent man Russ. She was really hoping for an enchanting dinner with wine and a sommelier, but
It's not ideal, but he's taking me to go play mini golf.
Okay.
She comes out looking like a disco ball, and honestly, she kind of reminds me of that character from Xenon, Protozoa. I do not know if I am aging myself with that reference, but do you guys know what I'm talking about? Protozoa? She meets Russ, and he is all smiles, and he even compliments her outfit. They get started, and Debbie says, "Ooh, these look like monsters," which is fitting considering they are at a place called Monsters Mini Golf. Don't know why she's surprised. And oh my gosh, is that Osama? Oh, my bad. It's just his doppelganger.
That looks like my ex.
They seem to be having a pretty good time playing mini golf. Russ is absolutely killing it, but he also does come here every Thursday, so he's had a lot of practice. They settle down, and Debbie tells him that online dating is scary, and Russ seems like a really sincere and kind guy, so she's got to come clean about a lie she told.
Okay, what you like?
I'm 67 years old.
Don't worry about it.
It's okay.
It's just a
with
number.
you?
Russ takes this news like a champ. He does not seem super fazed by it, and as they finish up, Russ invites her for a drink. Debbie downs some liquid courage, and she decides to get real close real fast and divulges that she was dating a younger guy.
How old was he?
Don't hate me.
How old was he?
Don't judge me. 24 years old.
Now, this is a lot harder for Russ to swallow because 24 is 24. I mean, what is that? Like the age of grandkids for them right now? Debbie says she would like to see him again, and Russ...
Sure.
Now, to me, when someone says sure, I kind of take that as a no disguised as a yes. For example, if I ask my partner, hey, do you want to get some pizza? If he says sure, my response is, okay, well then just tell me what you really want. So I don't know if this date went well. It's kind of like lukewarm for me because Russ seems to have had a really good time, but I think Debbie gave too much information too soon. Super glad she told the truth. Maybe don't talk about having almost married a 24-year-old on the first date. Like, give that a couple months. Let's hop on a plane and fly right over to Greece and see what Shantel's up to. Let's roll that recap. Last episode, Shantel experienced the Greek nightlife with a Greek god, Giannis. And this meeting left in her a burning desire to bring back home a husband. It's day 3 in Greece, and Shantel is still reeling from her night. Her friends ask her, is he a Greek salad? And she lets us know that a Greek salad means the man has the career, the character, and the cucumber. I am 100% adopting this term because it is hilarious, and I love a good alliteration. Shantel asks if they think he is a Greek salad, and they say, oh my god, he is so different from anyone you've ever dated because he is polite and he respects women. It makes me a little sad that a lot of women can probably relate to this conversation of like, oh, he's nice and polite. He's so different than any other guy you've ever dated. I was 100% a part of that club. Quick story time. When I was in college, I dated a guy who was super condescending, super disrespectful. I broke up with him because he cheated on me many times, and when he tried to win me back, he asked to meet up for coffee, and he bought me my coffee, which he'd never done before in like the 2 years we dated. And my dumbass was sitting over there thinking, oh wow, he bought me a coffee? He really has changed. He must love me. Don't be me, ladies. Let's raise our expectations off of the floor. Anyway, Shantel tells her friends that Giannis and his friends invited them to drive 4 hours to go to the other side of the island to hang out with them. Kaylee and Mooney are not down for this ride. The divorce squad eventually agrees that they will go, and they head out to get ready for their long-ass drive. Now, it's road trip time, and the divorce squad is headed to Giannis' hometown, Chanes? Henis? Hanya? And Chantel is happier than a pig in mud. She feels like she is starring in her own little Hallmark movie. She gets a text from Giannis asking to meet him at 7 p.m., which would leave her virtually no time to get ready. So the squad, with their powers combined, they turn Chantel from perfectly fine to perfectly fine but in pink. She goes on to tell us that international relationships are so romantic and mysterious, like Romeo and Juliet.
It's poetic, which is what draws me in to the mystery. I'm very
delusional. The word you're looking for is delusional, or as the kids say, delulu. Moving on, I'm gonna preface this by saying I feel a little dumb because I thought Veronica was the main character in this story, but then today I realized it's Tim. I get why I thought that because they featured Veronica so heavily on the first episode, but she's dating Jamal, so technically she is not single, and Tim is, so I don't know why it took me that long to make that connection, but anyway, I got there eventually. Let's go ahead and roll that recap. Last episode, Tim went to a singles mixer dating event, and he was kind of striking out until he fortuitously ran into Luisa. Now, Luisa is a super hot Latina woman who Tim had spoken to before over social media, but they never got together because they ended up dating other people. He asks her out, and she says yes, as if she didn't really want to, but she kind of has to. Fast forward to today, Tim is getting ready for his date with Luisa, and Veronica says that she is proud of him for getting back up on that horse called Dayton.
Get back on that horse. Giddy up.
I'm getting.
I don't see you getting.
Yeah, I'm getting in my internal self.
Oh my God, Veronica was so annoying here. If I was Tim, I would have put her back on that horse just so I could kick her off. Tim and Luisa start smacking some balls around, and things seem to be going okay. It's a little hard to tell because A, the background music is kind of goofy, and they're just kind of hitting balls and talking about how shitty they're hitting the balls, and that's about it. Luisa tells us that she was really hoping this would have happened back when they first started talking, so she's super excited because she likes Tim and she finds him attractive. So I guess that incredibly pregnant pause before she agreed to this date was to contain all her excitement. Tim asks her what a few of her non-negotiables are for her to even consider a long-term relationship, and she says that she's a very affectionate person. Like, she loves to cuddle and she loves doing the whole PDA thing. Luisa even gives him an opening.
You need to kiss me. You want me to show you?
No.
And he blocks his own cock. He goes on to explain that he is a Southern gentleman and he likes to take things slow, unlike Veronica, who kisses everybody apparently.
Your slutty mouth. Keep that slutty mouth away from me.
Stupid.
Luisa says he's doing well on the date and she scores him a 5 out of 10. He asks, how can he get to that 10? And she says, you could learn some Spanish. And then he offers up some Spanish that he does know.
¿Quieres una cita contigo?
And Luisa says yes. So I think we can consider this date a success, and they say goodbye and they head their separate ways. Now we're gonna head over to Las Vegas where John is entering the chat. John is 39, he's from Worcester. He is a self-proclaimed professional bachelor and a dick. John is over his brother Pat's house visiting him, his wife Thais, and their newborn baby girl Alyssa. Pat asks his brother if he ever wants kids, and John says no, which is the correct answer for John. With his current lifestyle, he is too selfish for children. That is just my opinion. He says he likes that he can wake up whenever he wants, eat whenever he wants, do whatever he wants whenever he wants. Thais says John does not want to have any responsibilities, and Pat says, well, he has to find a girl first. Excuse me? No. Do not make it some poor woman's responsibility to make this 39-year-old man act like a fully functioning adult. John can fix his damn self. John says that 5 months ago, he stopped banging a bunch of random women because he met Megan and they hit it off. Megan is Texan and they apparently get along really well. They have similar senses of humor, they have great sexual chemistry, and she even got him to change his relationship status on his social media page. Pat is pretty skeptical and doesn't think that John knows what he is doing.
Sounds like to me you're in over your head.
John heads back to his house, and by his house, I mean his younger brother Matt's house. He's been squatting in Matt's house for the past 5 or 6 months after getting kicked out of his previous house, which was not his house, it was Pat and Thais' house. He's packing for his upcoming trip to visit Megan for the second time. Matt asks him if Megan knows that he is living out of a suitcase and has been doing so for the past 4 months.
What are you supposed to disclose? Everything? She doesn't know that all my stuff is in boxes.
John goes on to say that he really cares about what Megan thinks about him, and so he did not offer up that information because he did not want his lifestyle to be a deal breaker for her. Matt's husband, Carlos, asks John if he thinks Megan might possibly move up to Las Vegas.
I don't know about that because she has family. Who knows?
And I'm thinking the bigger issue here is, should she move up to Las Vegas, where's she gonna live? Is she gonna move right in with you, your younger brother, and his husband? John also goes on to tell us that Megan has a child and that in the past he would have never even considered dating a woman with a kid, but now he kind of thinks he's ready for it, even though just hours ago he told his other brother that he did not want kids. Both Matt and Carlos are pretty shocked because John is not known for his responsibility, but John says he knows this about himself and sometimes you just need a reason to change. Well, my friends, that is it for this episode. Things were pretty tame this episode, but I'm really excited for the next episode because in the up next, we see Debbie buying some condoms with her son, and we see Jamal and Tim button heads. So I look forward to seeing you guys next time, and as always, thanks for not letting me ride this train wreck alone. Bye.